Welcome to SiouxSports.com. I'm Tony Boniferro, joined alongside South Lyons East Varsity basketball player Taylor Viotto. How you doing, Tay?
How are you? Good.
Good. Thanks for doing this.
Of course.
So, obviously we kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about what your journey's been like. I mean, you've kind of progressed a long ways from your days up here in the Sioux. I just wanted to kind of start right from the beginning. You were in eighth grade, I believe, when you decided to move down there. That must have been a real tough decision, kind of leaving your friends and things like that. So, what was that like for you to just kind of pick up and reroute in a city that you didn't really know anyone in?
Yeah. So it was kind of hard. It was like a big adjustment for sure. Like my whole family's in the Sioux and like all my friends that I grew up with. So like I was so comfortable and used to like being in the Sioux but I knew there would be just a better opportunity to move here for like my whole family and for me with sports. So that was a good thing, but it was also hard at the same time because I miss everybody back home. But like going to school, it was good because we went 8th grade was middle school. So in America, there's that middle school, and I was there for 1 year, and it was a very welcoming school. So I got very lucky because that was an easy adjustment. But like curriculum, that was a bit different than Canada, but I got used to it very fast. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's start from when you kind of first moved down there. I know soccer was a big deal for you. You were doing soccer all the time, and that was kind of a big deal for you. What led you to transition to basketball and kind of focus on basketball?
Well, yeah, I did soccer my whole life, but I kind of did basketball here and there. Like I did 705 basketball. Yeah. My parents ran that. And so I just started like playing more and more, and I can like just grew to love it. And I watched my brother and like all my cousins play, like my older cousins, and I was like, I want to do this. So that just like I started playing, and then moving here, I saw that there was a big opportunity for me to play basketball here. So that like I just grew to love it.
That's amazing. So you're at South Lyons now, which is if we're looking where Drew went, that's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. I just know that they played each other. So yes. What kind of led to the decision to go to South Lyons, and how's that been going so far for you?
Yeah. So the reason I went to Wall Lake Western was because of my brother. I wanted to have 1 year with my brother, and the basketball was not very good at Wall Lake Western.
Fair enough.
So I played South Lyons East for basketball, and I'm like, this school, like it's a nice school and it's like a lot better, like more competitive. So I'm like, my brother was leaving to go to college, so I was like, I don't really want to be at Wall Lake Western.
Yeah.
So me and my dad and my whole family made the decision, like, I think it would be best for us to move here, and like we like just the area in general, like the neighborhood and stuff like that.
That's great. So talk a little bit about your team this year. Talk about your coaches, kind of what are your expectations for this season? How are things going so far? Those types of things. So basically we'll start with there. So how's the season going? What are your expectations?
So right now my team is, I think we're 5-2. Yeah, 5-2. So we've been doing really well. Like our whole team, like we're a very close team. Like we hang out outside of basketball, which is good. So we have good chemistry on the court. We only have we have 4 seniors, but 2 are foreign exchange students, so 2 really play.
Yeah.
So we're like a younger team, so that kind of thing is like it's a adjustment to like because we're all just starting to play on the varsity level. Yeah. But I think we're gonna do good. Our team goal is to win we're a Lakes Valley conference, so we want to win like the championship for our conference because we have 3 years in a row, so we want to win for 4 years in a row this year. That's our big goal.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm curious as to, and I think a lot of people up here are curious about this too. You have a really unique experience because you've got to live both, right? What it's like here in the Sioux and what it's like down there. Obviously, there's some pretty significant differences. Yeah. What were some of the things that you noticed that were the biggest differences between playing, ball up here and then moving down there?
I think like how serious they take basketball way more serious here, and like there's like so much training you can do here. Like everywhere you go, like there's just training, and also I would say sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It's just very competitive. Like I moved here and I did not know what I was doing at first.
Yeah.
Like I was like it was like I did my first tryout here, and I was like, my dad was joking. He said, I don't know if you were on offense or defense. Like, I didn't know where I was at. It's like they start from such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So it's been kind of cool to watch your journey, right? It's been really neat to kind of watch you go. I know that you've had your cousin come down and do some training with you down there too. What was her experience like? Did she have a tough time between the two?
She thought it was a bit different because she's like, I'm not like used to doing this training,
Yeah.
but like she adjusted very quickly because like all she does is basketball now too. So she did really well, like adjusting to the American
Yeah,
version of it.
for sure. What are some of your long-term goals in terms of basketball?
My big long-term goal is to play at the collegiate level, to play in college. That's my big goal. I don't know what level, but like I just want to go and play basketball in college.
Yeah. So how does that work? Do you have to start sending tape out now? Have you been doing that already? Do scouts just come to the games and kind of reach out to you? How does that work? And because obviously I've gotten to know how the football works a lot through your brother and things, but I'm curious as to how basketball works. If it's similar, different.
It is kind of similar, but the main like way you get noticed is it's called AAU, so it's travel ball.
Okay.
So like you'll go on like tournaments and like you join like an AAU team and you go and there's always like coaches watching, like big tournaments. You'll see like a bunch of college coaches and they'll sit at like the end of the court and they'll watch you. So that's a main way of getting noticed. But it starts like your junior year. Like really that's when coaches start talking to you, junior and senior year. So right now like sophomore year, like grade 10 is the year to like just start like get training and like kind of getting your name out there a little bit. High school, you get like some coaches will come and watch you, but it's mostly like the AAU season where like you'll see coaches coming up to watch you.
Fair enough, because you're in 10th grade right now, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you're playing on the varsity team as a 10th grader. Is that standard, or is that do most players play JV when they're in 10th grade, or how does that work?
It kind of depends on like your team. I'd say like it's not really standard, but like it happens a lot. Like sophomore, but freshman, it's not really like grade 9. That's the year you play JV.
Fair enough. So what's an average week look like for you? Is it similar to up here? Do you just practice one night after school and that's it? Or, do you do extra training? Like talk a little bit about the commitment level, because I think that's something that, people oftentimes kind of miss up here, right? Is they think, oh, I just practice once a week after school and go shoot hoops on Saturdays and that's all I need to do, right? Yeah. So talk a little bit about what the difference is in terms of your training and what an average week looks like for you.
Yeah. So during the season, we practice every day, we practice every day after school, but on Tuesday and Fridays we have games.
Okay.
So we play 2 times a week, and then we have a Saturday practice as well.
Wow.
And then in the off season, I do a lot of training, and that's also when you do travel ball. Yeah. But that's like it's packed with training and like also like workouts, like agility training. So like that's when you like the off season is when I try like to get better for the next season.
So I'm interested in that because, back when I grew up years and years ago when we played high school basketball, we often played 2 games a week, right? We practiced Monday, played Tuesday, practiced Wednesday, played Thursday. And up here locally now, what they've done is they've gone to 1 game a week locally up here. And that's kind of, there's been a little bit of pushback on that. From your experience, do you think that playing extra games is beneficial, or do you think that, practicing 4 days a week and playing 1 game a week, would work?
I love the 2 games a week because it's like I like practicing, but I love playing more. So like you get that Monday practice and you're right into a game. Like it's like you keep yourself busy, because with 4 days of practice you kind of like get bored a little bit. So I love the 2 games a week, and it does like help you get better for sure.
How long's your season? When does it go till?
We start November and we go to like February, March. It depends how far you go in the playoffs.
Okay, cool. Yeah. In terms of scouting, you said you kind of weren't sure what level you really wanted to play, right? Obviously, there's lots of opportunities out there. You don't have to give too much information, but do schools start scouting as a sophomore? Like, are you getting looked at right now?
Like on Twitter, you'll get like a couple follows, but not a lot right now. No.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But some kids will get like recruited 10th grade. Like it just depends how good you are. Yeah. But juniors the year, like a lot of people get recruited.
That's amazing. So obviously, you know, Drew's has his thing going on. Talk about how your family's kind of, navigating the two of you, right? Going through all this, right? You know, they've been through it with Drew already, but again, in a different sport. Do you think that that's kind of helped you guys, you know, to kind of know how it all works now, sort of, and kind of, you know, been able to help you throughout all this?
For sure, because watching Drew, like, because at first I didn't know if I wanted to do this at all. Like, my parents
Yeah.
didn't know. But watching Drew go through this, going to all these colleges, like seeing him in camps, it really does help because he's kind of like the veteran because he went through it already. And
Yeah.
so my parents, we all know like what to do and what not to do. And just like when I saw him go to all these colleges, like I really wanted to do this. I was like, this is cool. Like I want this for me. And
Yeah.
my parents saw that I wanted it, so now they're like putting me in all this stuff, like, and like trying to get my name out there.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's really cool to kind of watch you, right? I mean, I'm watching the videos and stuff that your dad's posting online, and it's impressive to see. I mean, you know, you're a first year player, obviously, a sophomore, but you know, playing varsity, and it seems like you're keeping up, you're doing well, you know, and it just seems like you've come such a long way in such a short period of time.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you attest that to?
I think it's just training. Like as soon as I got down here, like I was like training like almost every day.
Yeah.
That really like just putting in work. Like there's always like something will always come out of it, and it did. It worked for me.
Yeah, and you know, I'm happy to hear you say that because you know I'll say it because I do think it's important for people to hear, right? I mean, they think they work hard up here, but until you actually experience it, you know, you don't really know what's needed to really, you know, compete at the next level. So,
For sure,
yeah, I think that's really awesome. Before I let you go here, I just wanted to ask you one more question, kind of about this travel ball that you do. So that season goes from when to when? Is that just in the summer or is that in the spring as well?
So it's like after our season ends, we'll have like a month off. So then it'll start like April,
Yeah.
and then it'll go like through the summer to like August. So yeah, like it's all from April to August.
And do you play with pretty much your high school team, or are you playing with different girls from around the region?
I'm playing with different girls, but also I forgot to say that we during the AAU season we get like 1 to 2 months off because the high schools, like we go back to high school and they do a summer league. So high schools play other high schools in the summer. So it's cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really interesting. Kind of see where you are and kind of match up, right?
Yeah.
What's the experience been like for you at South Lyon playing varsity basketball? Is it, you know, is the school all in around it? Is it a crazy little atmosphere? Like, what would it be like for one of us to go down and watch?
I think, well, it's girls basketball, so it's not like you don't get the big crowds, but we're a pretty solid team, so we will get like a couple of students coming up to watch, and like the parents are all there. So it is a bit of a loud atmosphere, which is kind of cool, like hearing people cheer for you. So it's really fun to play. We also have this rivalry, South Lyon. We're South Lyons East, South Lyon.
Yeah.
So whenever we play them, any sport and basketball especially, it's like the girls will play first and then the boys will play, and the whole like a lot of people come to watch that game, and it's a great atmosphere. That's like if a Canadian were come to watch it, they think it was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to before this will be the last one, but before I kind of let you, I wanted to ask you one more question. Now, I'm putting you on the spot here, so if you don't want to answer it, that's okay too. But you know, you obviously growing up here in the Sioux, playing 705 basketball, doing all that, now seeing it from the other end of the spectrum. If you could make any changes up here, or if you could make any recommendations to people up here about what do we need to do better up in the Sioux to kind of promote basketball and promote girls basketball up here, do you have any suggestions or, you know, any ideas with that?
I think the biggest thing, because that I went through this, start younger, like start basketball younger, and have like things available to train when you're younger. Like we only have a couple of things for basketball out of high school that you can like play. Like you should just play, like start playing at like when you're really young. Like playing just helps a lot. Like not just in high school, like out of it. Like the travel ball thing, that's like a huge thing. And I think some places in Canada, but the Sioux doesn't have like many resources for like just to play.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Listen, we really appreciate you doing this. You know, a lot of people have been kind of asking about you because they've been following your journey as well, right? So I really do appreciate you doing this. And this is something, obviously, we'd like to talk to you again because, you know, we followed Drew all the way up and we love to follow what you're doing too. Because again, I don't think you realize, right? You could be an inspiration for people up here, right? Kind of showing people that there is a chance to do this. And with the success that you're having, you know, it really opens a lot of eyes. So I think that's a huge testament to you and your work ethic. And congratulations with what you're doing. It's really cool to see, and definitely look forward to following you throughout your career. And you know, women's basketball is just taking off, right?
Sure, yes.
You keep it up. You know, there's no reason why we can't be watching you play D1 down the road. So that'll be great.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Taylor. We really appreciate this. We'll be following you. Send us some updates with how your season's going, and we'll post about it because people are asking. And thanks again for doing this. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay.